Well, Black Lives Matter protests have been going on for well over a month now. And while most of them have been peaceful, there were initial incidents where looters damaged and vandalized businesses in LA County. Now, the Small Business Administration recently announced that it's offering up to $2 million in disaster assistance loans for damage related to protests. And that is some relief for owners who have spent their lives building their businesses. Right now, our Tanya McRae joins us this morning from Van Nuys with more. Good morning, Tanya.
Good morning, Sarah. So boarded up windows and gated businesses is actually a common sight here in the center of Van Nuys after a June 1st Black Lives Matter protest turned into a looting spree. And businesses like the Don Larry Watch and Jewelry Repair Shop were one of the hardest hit. He lost almost everything, and the inside of the store was completely destroyed. And while you can replace a ring or a watch, the value of decades worth of building a business from scratch are really priceless. But he and his family are trying to rebuild with the hope of getting an SBA disaster emergency loan. Take a look. On June 1st, this watch and jewelry repair shop in Van Nuys was the target of looting and vandalism when a peaceful Black Lives Matter rally turned destructive. A group of people used the protest as an excuse to break into businesses and steal merchandise.
Everything was on the floor.
This shop has been the life's work of Cindy Torres's father, Larry, and she was heartbroken to see his business completely destroyed.
Oh, this has been really shocking and just unexpected and devastating to see his whole life just broken down into pieces on one day.
The next day, when Cindy and her family returned to the shop to assess the damage, they found this. People in the community had already started the cleanup process.
Thank you so much.
Larry Contreras has lived and worked in Van Nuys for 40 years, but he's not just a business owner. He's also a pastor at a local church. So people in the community come into his repair shop to see him for just about everything.
They know he's a pastor, so they'll come and ask him for advice, and he knows a lot of people, he knows lawyers, he knows how to help people with immigration. So people come here not just for watches or jewelry.
Larry suffered $70,000 in loss of inventory and damage, but what made the situation even worse, he didn't have any insurance.
I did think, what is he gonna do? What are we gonna do as a family?
Cindy heard that the SBA's Economic Injury Disaster Loans and Advance program had been reopened to help small businesses repair or replace damaged or destroyed real estate, equipment, and inventory, or fund other expenses. Cindy helped her father fill out the necessary forms, and while they anxiously wait to see if the emergency loan will come through, people have donated everything from new display cases to a new cash register in order to help Larry get back on his feet.
I changed my worries, that moment, see people help me, people cleaning, it made me feel very good.
As the shop slowly reopens, loyal customers are bringing in their precious items for Larry to repair again.
It feels good to see that my dad has the opportunity to start over again. A lot of people have helped out, and I'm really grateful.
And Cindy remains hopeful the business that took her father 4 decades to build and a single day to be destroyed will be saved with that emergency loan, along with the community's diehard support. So some of the only things that the looters left behind were some of the repair equipment and all of these keys. But Larry has had to replace everything else, and he has applied for his SBA loan. But for other business owners that were impacted by protests, 2 key deadlines that you need to know about is August 17th is the deadline to fill out the application, and March 17th, 2021 is the deadline to get economic reimbursement. So if you were impacted by any of the rioting that happened during any of the protests over the last few weeks, you want to make sure to meet those 2 deadlines.
All right, Tanya, thank you. I'm sure other small businesses will be happy to hear about that relief and those deadlines that are so important. So can you talk us through, I know there were some challenges that he had gone through, but can you kind of describe some of the other challenges that these businesses are going through right now?
Yeah, so one of the biggest things, Sarah, for him in particular, is that people are coming to pick up the items that they left here. And obviously, they're not here because they were stolen. And this has caused a lot of concern for Larry. His daughter Cindy told me that he's even making some of the jewelry again to reimburse people. But you can see over here all of these orange bags. These are all items that customers have brought in for repair. So people in the community are supporting him, and he's hoping that once he gets an SBA emergency loan, fingers crossed, that he'll be able to at least monetarily reimburse people. And I know that's true for a number of the businesses on either side of him, that they're really just hoping that they're going to be able to get this emergency loan so that they can get back on their feet.
Right. Well, hopefully
so.
they will. Thank you, Tanya.
Thanks, Tanya. All right, everybody, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Stay with us. This is Your Morning on Spectrum News 1.